The Foreign Claims Commission has found that there are almost 6,000 U.S. claims that are judged to be qualified for compensation by the Castro dictatorship. The adjudicated value of those claims, by adding a 6% simple interest, according to this commission, makes the total principal value of American claims to over $8 billion today. I don't think the State Department will enforce Helms-Burton by investigating trafficking in confiscated U.S. property, nor enable U.S. property owners to secure compensation for the unauthorized use of property subject to a claim. Do you think that you will or won't? And I also worry that the administration will use our influence to go even further. Will we try to help Cuba get membership into the World Bank, into the IMF, into the IDB, other multilateral development banks, and will we prevent any assistance, any financing, or any other benefit from these institutions until U.S. property claims have been resolved to the satisfaction of American owners? And lastly, if you could tell us what are the 3 conditions, according to U.S. law, under Helms-Burton, for the embargo to be lifted. And I know the president is going to present us legislation to free up the embargo. What of those 3 conditions have been met that would satisfy the embargo or justify the embargo being lifted? So first, on the claims, on what we're going to do if we're going to help Cuba get into these organizations, and then the 3 conditions under Helms-Burton.
Let me start off by saying I've been cognizant of the importance of resolution of the claims issues and the judgments from the very beginning of this process. It is very important that those be resolved. The State Department, as well as other government agencies, the Justice Department, under which the Autonomous Foreign Claims Settlement Commission acted to adjudicate and assign values to those claims. We believe very strongly that that has to be part of future conversations over the next years, however long normalization may take. Those are extremely difficult, obviously, to have with any foreign government, as those commissions' dealings have proven. But we intend to pursue that, certainly, as part of our discussion. I raised that in the very first conversation, knowing that we weren't going to talk about it that day deeply, but it must be part of full normalization. Second, on the international financial institutions, there is obviously very specific language in the law about this. We feel that we're not in a position right now where Cuba is, eligible for membership, certainly, and there are lots of...
You say right now, do you foresee that Cuba will be moving in that direction?
I think, Madam Chairman, we all hope for the day when there would be logical membership, because it will be a free and open Cuba with an open economic system that would be a logical member. But I don't know exactly at what point. We also hope that at some point in the future, they may ask for help to open their system. They're not right now. So,
but just as we said that we weren't going to swap spies, and we did, even though you arose by any other name, but you call it something else, will we be advocating for Cuba's inclusion in these international organizations that would allow to give it credit to continue to oppress the people?
We're not advocating for their membership, but we also want to make sure that at some point in time, it may be useful to have organizations like the IMF not give them help, but help them open their economy, which is what they do
because we're keeping them, and these institutions are keeping them from opening the economy.
No, so, but they don't. But anyway, they don't necessarily.
And let's go to the 3 conditions under Helms-Burton. What are the 3 conditions that would allow the lifting of the embargo, and what of those 3 have been met by the Castro regime?
I'm sorry, I don't have them in front of me. The 3 conditions in the legislation.
I
whether
hope that
changing-
when you're negotiating with the Castro regime, you keep in mind U.S. law. U.S. law is the Libertad Act of
Yes, of course.
1996. The president is calling for the lifting of the embargo. Please go and check that out,
I certainly will.
that is U.S. law, and we're hoping that you will abide by that.
Absolutely.
And with